If you go on YouTube and look at any most disturbing movies iceberg video, a film that you will see pop up every time is something called Martyrs. This is a movie that has crossed my For You page, Instagram Reels, YouTube recommended time and again, but only ever spoken as one of the most disturbing, reprehensible, unwatchable, evil, dark films. And I was like, okay, and I'm not much into the dare I call it the torture porn genre. I hated Terrifier 1, but I loved Terrifier 3, and I'll get into that later. So Martyrs never really appealed to me, as I just heard it was this evil movie of women getting tortured, and that it was just disgusting and unwatchable and the most brutal horror movie ever. But then I got curious and I looked at my letterboxd and I was seeing 4 stars. I was seeing 4.5 stars from people I love and respect and whose opinions I really value. And then I saw the letterbox overall rating was quite high. So one night last week, I was laying in bed before a TNA wrestling taping in Rhode Island. I had my laptop and I had some time to kill before the end of the day. And I thought, you know what, let's watch a movie. And then it hit me. Let's do Martyrs. Why not? And I thought the setting was good too. A dark hotel room, all the lights off, laptop screen locked in. And I watched it, and the internet is wrong about this movie. There is so much more to it than what they describe online, or should I say, what they lack in describing online. I thought this was a great horror film and a great movie all around. Now, let me say this. It is disturbing, it is horrifying, and it is very evil in its nature and in tone and everything about it. But I think the internet oversold and overhyped this to a high degree. I found Terrifier 3 far harder to watch due to how extreme, over the top, disgusting, and barbaric some of those scenes were. Martyrs is held up by an intriguing revenge story. It's a genre bender of a home invasion, monster, Saw-esque torture, and it brings in other elements I was not expecting. And I don't want to spoil anything yet. I'll get into that later. But I thought everything about this movie was stupendous, from the set design to the costumes to the creatures to the music to everything about this movie. I thought was great. And I wanted to make this video because if you love horror movies, stuff that's really dark, for this is not a movie I would recommend to anyone. It will like ruin your day and mess you up and leave you feeling dark. And the thing that is scariest to me about Martyrs is stuff like this actually happens in the world, and that may be why it's harder for some people to watch it. Whereas something like Terrifier, which is a fantasy, that is a fantastical, unrealistic, supernatural film where you're watching fiction. Martyrs, that is happening somewhere in the world right now, and that is horrifying and distressing and terrible. But I think this movie has been misrepresented greatly by the internet as being nothing more than a torture porn flick. And I couldn't disagree more. So let me dive into the thick of it here and talk about the story here. A woman who is severely traumatized, who was abducted and tortured as a young woman, as a child, has reached adulthood, and she is looking to seek revenge on those who tortured her. The second this film starts, it is evil from frame one, okay? And it does not let up. The pace of this movie, it actually, in the third act, there is something I would change that I think goes on a little long. But this movie starts, and you are in the thick of it. You are hooked from the get-go. And it starts off as a simple, what you think is a simple home invasion, but it all goes so wrong. And I love that it flipped some tropes on its head. You're not getting the home invasion of serial killer out to kill the people living at home. It starts with the revenge. It starts with that and then evolves from there. And I thought that was so great. And the two women who lead this film are excellent. And the film has this theme and this not underlying, very prominent exploration of grief and trauma, mental illness, PTSD, anxiety, everything coming to a head in the most extreme ways. and it was presented so incredibly and so scary and just, but it was thrilling. It was thrilling. It is just brutal from frame one, but it was exciting and thrilling, and you wanted to learn more. There's a mystery. There's something actually quite deep going on, and you're scratching your head going, what is that? Is that real? Is this true? Is this a representation of something, and this and that? And there was a lot to sink your hooks into, and then the second act happens, and you are given some, it flips the switch, and you go, holy shit, what is this? And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Down the ladder. So, without getting to spoilers, if you, that is all I'll say about Martyrs for now. Spoiler free. I thought the movie was excellent, but I give you this as a warning. If you've ever been a victim of a domestic abuse at the hands of a man and you are a woman, this film, it's not, some gore movies like Terrifier are fun. You know, that's a fun movie where it's so over the top, so extreme. Martyrs is not that. It is brutal and realistic and evil, and it is severe trigger warning for just about everything, okay? But now I'm going to get into spoiler territory and really talk about what was so incredible about this film to me. The fact that they bring in this supernatural concept of why they are torturing these people and what their goal is, that was so interesting to me. And I thought that was so just wow. This society of people who are, it felt almost like BioShock. They're pushing the boundaries of science and exploration of the human mind and its connection to God in such an extreme way. And when they show those pictures in the basement, I don't know if those were all real photos or if those were stock photos that matched what they were going for, but I have seen this expression in people in photos and in historical documents. I've always seen that same look on people, but I've never connected the dots until just now. So that concept, I don't know where the writer came up with that, but that was just so good. And I loved what they went for with this concept. And the performance of the woman in the basement who's bound and chained with that thing, who's all sliced up, her physical performance, bravo. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. That woman deserves every accolade. And I went on her IMDb, and she has not acted before or since, and now she's an accountant. Imagine the woman in the cubicle one over from you is tortured woman basement thing from Martyrs. Could you imagine? But no, for real. Absolutely incredible concept. And my only real critique for the film is when the girl is in the new girl is put in the basement and that guy comes down every day and just cracks her in the face repeatedly. That scene is like 15 minutes, it felt like, of just you're seeing this over and over again. And it's a horror movie. Yes, it's supposed to be terrifying and brutal and hard to watch. But I'm like, I get it. Like, I think it's okay to like indulge in horror movies because that's the whole point, is like to present us with this thing that's like taboo and not. Bro, I thought I just heard my door open and oh, I'm scared. Okay. The whole point of horror movies is to go beyond, to go into that dark place. But this, I was like, this isn't even a horror movie. It's just a woman getting punched in the face, and we're seeing it for like 15 minutes. So that is like, it's not fun or not exciting, and not like, out of that, I was like, they could show that montage. If she was getting tortured in like different ways, or like we were seeing different aspects of the experiment, I would get it, and that would be more interesting to me. But I was like, okay, sure. But the end of this movie, dude, one of the best horror movie endings of all time, when she whispers in her ear. Martyrs was a great film, guys, and I loved it. I thought it was absolutely incredible. So I just want to say the internet is wrong about this movie, and it is worth a watch if you can stomach it, and if it sounds appealing to you guys. Guys, Martyrs is a great film, I think, and it's been severely misrepresented. Check it out.